The views and opinions expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Nash Community College, the Board of Trustees of Nash Community College, or the North Carolina Community College System.
We don't need no stinking podcast. Oh, no.
Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
You play ball like a girl! Oh, yeah! Come to play!
And Leon's getting larger. Nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Well, thank you very much. Can I be in charge for a while?
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac Anderson.
And I am Tyler.
You are moving your feet like no one else right now.
I'm trying to get some exercise.
Let me tell you right now, you're moving your feet like someone on a roller coaster with no bottom on it right now. You guys know what I'm talking about. But guys, in case you haven't known, this is a show where we talk about movie news, movie reviews, and everything in between. Tyler, man, how you been?
It's been busy.
Busy? I feel like you always say that. Like, you work a lot?
I work 8 days a week.
8 days a week?
Yeah, I told him, I said, I can work about 7 days, but I can't get 8 days. He said, you make 8 days work. I said, I'll try.
That's what a good boss does.
Yes, makes him work 8 days so he can leave early.
Oh, of course. That's how it always works, I guess.
Yeah, he can leave early.
Yeah. So speaking about leaving early, guess that doesn't really work, okay? I'd always try to make puns like that. That doesn't work. Speaking about not working, Adam Wingard, who's the director of the Blair Witch Project reboot, is going to be directing Godzilla vs. Kong.
Now, let me say it this way. I'm not excited about the Blair Witch Project. I didn't even like the original.
Oh, yeah?
Did not like the original.
I enjoyed the original.
To me, I'm not a fan of lost found footages.
Well, found footage movies were kind of started with the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, and it should have died with the Blair Witch Project.
Do you think that this is going to be a found footage movie?
It's probably going to be a found footage. Like for me, it's just like I don't like them. I can't stand them. The only one I could really stomach is Chronicle. I thought Chronicle was of all.
Well, Chronicle was an original story. I mean, it was very fresh.
I mean, and you actually have the good camera angles. Yeah. You know, he did the whole psychic thing flying around his head. So I thought that was amazing. But for me, that was even the killing point of some movies like Cloverfield. The found footage killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do it. I can't stomach the Michael J. Fox camera. I do not like it. I can't stand it.
I know it gets a little bit kind of.
It's shaky after shaky cam. I don't like it.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's politically incorrect.
See, I didn't mind the new Godzilla movie. I felt like it had more Heisenberg in it.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem for me, is like at the Godzilla movie that came out recently.
You killed the best part of it.
Yeah, that was the moral center, or like the kind of the character that we all cared about, the one we were invested in, and the one we were following. And spoiler alert, he dies within like 10, 15 minutes of the movie.
And his boring son takes over.
Yeah, and his boring son takes over, and I don't know anything that happens after that.
And his sister wife.
Yeah, his wife is played by the girl that played Elizabeth Olsen, who plays his sister in the Avengers movies.
Yes.
But that was really disappointing to me. But I wasn't.
To me, I enjoyed Kong though. Kong.
I didn't really enjoy Kong as much as you.
See, I like the whole. I thought the action seats were incredible. Scenes were incredible.
Seats. The action seats.
It had me on the edge of my seat.
Man, these action seats. This 4D ride is great.
I loved it. I love the whole part of him being a guardian rather than just like the king. You know, that was pretty neat. I like the whole stunning visual, the giant animals living on the island. Mm-hmm. I love that, and then you get the whole chain on the fist. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, there's a few cool moments in there, but I mean, overall, I wasn't expecting greatness out of it, and I don't think they really cared anyway.
But it was better than you expected, wasn't
it? I would beg to differ, but those two coming together seems pretty exciting. Like, what do you want to see out of something like that?
I don't even know what I'm expecting out of this.
I don't know what I'm expecting out of it either. I mean. I imagine we're going to see some big monsters fighting each other, and probably some stupid, boring characters.
Let him fight.
That was the best part of that movie.
Let him fight.
But I don't know. Guys, if you have an opinion on what you think is going to happen or what you want to happen, please leave a comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We would love to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Mecha King Kong, that needs to happen.
Mecha King Kong?
Mecha King Kong.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking about interesting, apparently there are no deleted scenes in the new Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, they bear all for this entire movie.
They bear all. Well, like, what are you saying, character-wise?
No, I'm talking about bear. They're hiding nothing.
Oh yeah, they're hiding nothing. Oh
it's
yeah,
like
I know.
it's like so for me, some of the deleted scenes help make a movie.
Yeah.
Like this has been a whole better if it was added to. I think everything's there for us to see. So if they got this much faith in it just to put it in there, then it's got to be pretty good.
It feels like they've had a through-line story from the beginning to end. From what I know, I think it was just typical kind of like typical reshoots, like normal reshoots that you would normally do in a movie, and it's not being it's not being 3/4 of the movie being refilmed. And then going in the editing process and then putting it together in a way it wasn't originally intended to be.
I mean, for me, I like that. I really do like it because it shows to me that only the studio actually has faith in the film.
Oh yeah, and it does, and it's being really held by critics. It's like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that really surprised me because The Dark Knight, which is arguably one of the best movies to come out in the last decade or two, is only 94%.
Okay, you gotta look at it this way. The tomato meter does drop right after, like a few days after premiere.
Yeah, but I mean that's really high. I mean, 96%. Do you think that movie is going to be as good?
Well, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy started out with 99.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got down to like 93 or 94.
That's still amazing. I mean, Empire Strikes Back's like 94. Things like that really kind of baffle me. Like we were talking about this earlier. So no deleted scenes. So obviously they have a lot of faith into what they're putting out, and people seem to really like it. Do you think the reception is because the movie's good, or do you think it's just because maybe DC's trying to push a new agenda here, or like maybe DC's kind of pushing these critics a little something extra because they haven't been kind to their movies in the past?
See, what I see here is like a Captain America-esque kind of film. World War I, and it's kind of relevant. I guess it's kind of relevant today because the whole, there's countries. A lot of countries today aren't getting along.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see it was kind of relevant, and I would say that personally, I heard Patty Jenkins did an incredible job at it.
Yeah, I heard that too. I mean, Patty Jenkins is a great director anyway, but.
So I feel like they actually had everything they needed for the film. I mean, you think about this, that there's nothing. The closest film you compare this to would probably be like Captain America. I mean, that's still worlds apart.
Yeah.
So I think it's also a unique concept.
I'm really excited to see it
because you actually have a female superhero character. Last time we seen that, we ended up with Halle Berry in a cat suit.
Do you think that's why this movie is getting pretty hailed by critics? It's because it's the first kind of female thing.
It's original.
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty original and pretty unique.
I think that too.
It's fresh, man. It's fresh.
It's fresh, and it's certified fresh. Hey, yay!
Yeah, I was relevant.
Oh, that was failed. No.
There we go. Yeah, he's got new keys and new sounds for his little keyboard over there.
I don't. I just added a few more.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see it. But that's going to be our movie review next week. We're going to talk about Wonder Woman. I'm very excited.
Our movie review.
Our movie review. Nose got clogged up. You ever speak and like your nose just kind of like shoots out a little thing right here, and like it stays right there and it blocks one of your words.
No, that doesn't happen.
It happens to me.
That happens to you, especially with trying to talk to the ladies. I've seen that happen to you, man.
Yeah.
3 words that don't even make any sense.
What?
Yeah, you spout like 3 or 4 words that don't make any sense, not even relevant.
Yeah.
It's just like you're just reading right out of an almanac.
Well, speaking about not relevant anymore, The Rock.
Actually, hold on. We're progressive. This is Dwayne Johnson.
Sorry, Dwayne Johnson. It's apparently rumored to play the Wolfman in the Universal Monster Universe. So The Rock is obviously, I joke the relevant thing. He actually is pretty popular right now. He's in the new Baywatch movie, the whole 19% in Rotten Tomatoes Baywatch movie. He's star of the Fast and Furious franchise.
And he's going to be Black Adam in Shazam.
Yeah, and he's also Hercules.
Hercules.
From the Brent Ratner
Hercules.
But yeah, apparently they want him to play Wolfman. So
Wolfman.
Do you want to see that?
I'll probably manage to go see it. Yeah. As long as he's probably like driving a car or something. And like, this will be like the whole Scooby-Doo, the werewolf races.
Yeah.
So,
oh wow, that sounds like an awesome B movie. I'd watch the heck out of that.
I'd watch it too. So
I don't
fun.
think that's what this movie is going to be though.
Oh.
I have a feeling it's going to be something like the Wolfman is this dark
Benicio
and
del
tortured
Toro.
soul.
Benicio del Toro's.
I would much rather see him in this than The Rock. Like The Rock would be kind of cool.
He did play Wolfman.
He did?
The Wolfman, like 5, 6 years ago.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
It was destroyed by critics.
Well, I mean, with something called The Wolfman, do you think that's actually going to be like held by critics? Do you think that's going to be a good movie?
The Lon Chaney one was.
The Lon Chaney one? I've never seen that one either.
Was it Lon Chaney?
Is that who's up here?
It was Lon Chaney Jr., one of them.
I don't know.
One of them.
But
all I remember, he's walking down the street with a Chinese menu in his hand, looking for a place called Eho Forks, got a big dish of beef chow mein. That's what I remember. That's what I remember about it.
I'm gonna
that
click
just doesn't sound good.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
do you?
not at all.
The Werewolves of London, man.
Oh, the American Werewolf in London?
No, Werewolves of London.
Oh, I've never seen this.
Yeah, you better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out.
Oh,
Tim, I'd love to meet his tailor. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't think I do.
How do you not know this?
I don't know.
How you know Warren Zevon is?
Warren Zevon, who?
Oh man, don't even worry about it. Let's
Don't
go.
worry. No. We got to keep talking about this just a little bit more, and then we'll go on the next one.
Oh man.
So if someone had to play the Wolfman, would you want it to be The Rock, or do you want it to be someone else?
I would want Matthew McConaughey because I want to hear like that's what I like about them high school girl. I get furry and they stay the same age. As
if Matthew McConaughey couldn't get any creepier.
Yeah, I'd watch it. Heck yeah.
I'd watch that too.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's go for that. I think we'll leave that at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aroo, aroo, aroo.
Aroo, aroo, aroo.
Yeah. And next we're talking about critics versus the Hollywood establishment.
Okay, so for people that don't know the story, there was an article that came out a few days ago, and apparently Baywatch and Pirates of the Caribbean aren't very good movies. And critics bashed them a little bit on Rotten Tomatoes. This one right here got 19%. This one got I think 34. What are you laughing at?
Did you do that?
Of course I did.
Oh man, that is funny.
But
yeah.
I believe that 19% and 31% Rotten Tomatoes. Critics saw it before it came out, and they didn't do very well at the box office.
No.
Baywatch bombed super hard. Pirates of the Caribbean, while it didn't necessarily bomb, didn't make that much money as much as the studio wanted because people saw the bad score on Rotten Tomatoes. And now Hollywood studios like Disney and who did was it Paramount that did this? I think it was Paramount.
No, Disney.
No, Paramount is for Baywatch.
Oh no, that was Columbia.
It might have been Columbia. Whoever did Baywatch are saying now they're blaming Rotten Tomatoes for their financial loss, and they're saying, it's a time and place. There was a time where these movies were like critic proof. Everyone wanted to go see them. Well, I mean, I have some opinions on this, but they're basically blaming critics putting out reviews before the movie comes out for their financial losses for their movie, and that's the reason why they're putting out such bad movies is because, the critics are going to bash it anyway, so we might as well not care, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, and when you do a thing where they can do a thing where they don't release it to critics on open day, but that looks pretty bad.
Yeah, but what do you think about this? Do you think the critics are in the right or the Hollywood's right?
To me, I feel like critics today are more cynical than they've ever been.
I mean, we're critics. Yeah,
but we're not as cynical as some of the critics. I mean, a lot of critics out there are on somebody's payroll.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I mean, they're paid. Their review is paid by somebody else. Like, make this look bad, make that look good. I mean, it's how it goes. I mean, most like 80% of critics are in somebody's pocket. And
it tends to be kind of the way where if you see a review online and you haven't seen this movie and you go see it and you have heard or seen this review, someone's thoughts about this movie before you've seen it, it can tend to influence you. I don't like to do that. I don't like to see or read or hear any reviews before I review my movie because I want to form my own thoughts on it. And there's been things I disagree with Rotten Tomatoes about.
I mean, Citizen Kane, I thought that was one of the greatest films ever made.
And I think most people do, but back in the day, there were some critics that kind of, the guy that made Caddyshack, that produced Caddyshack, drove himself off a bridge because the movie failed with critics.
See, I mean, there's a thing about it. I feel like a lot of critics today, you got 80-year-old old white racist men sitting in there watching these films. I mean, they need to change up with the times. I mean, like back in the day, I mean, you like Citizen Kane come out, they thought it was garbage.
Yeah.
They thought like a black and white, like a noir film about a whole murder mystery. Oh, that is absurd. This movie's terrible, and they get horrible reviews. And then you look again in the future. There's A Wonderful Life came out. They bashed that. They destroyed it.
No, they came out before Citizen Kane.
They came out after Citizen Kane. This came out like right after a little bit after World War II.
Oh wow.
So because it was destroyed. They said it was absurd, and they said it was the whole angel coming down the guy, see how his life was different when he was never born. Yeah. But that's like a classic concept.
Yeah.
They destroyed. See, I feel like critics are some of the last people to actually change with the times, man.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. It's like the same thing for like Oscar voters and stuff like that. They're kind of out of touch with society.
Yes.
And like you said, a lot of critics are on payrolls. Like there's been studios, Sony's really guilty about this a lot of times. Mm-hmm. They've been, people have been seen getting paid for fake reviews, to say like, hey, this movie's great, and the movie's not really good, but they're being paid by the studio in order to do that. But
exactly,
I think this is the big problem because people are finally back like 20 years ago, you didn't really have a whole lot of like credibility to figure out how a movie was unless you went to go see it. You got the paper, and that's about it. And like the guy in the paper wrote something about the movie. You couldn't always trust that guy. But now we have the internet, and the internet has a wide array of all sorts of critics. We have Rotten Tomatoes is the biggest one, IMDb. All these different rating techniques.
And you got
Metacritic.
And you got the people who are way out there. I'm talking way out there giving movie reviews.
Yeah, we have like YouTube movie reviewers, ergo Facebook YouTube reviewers, and so people
nobody listen to them anyway.
Yeah, but when critics go see a movie, we automatically know what they thought of it because we see 34% Rotten Tomatoes, and now people when they see the 34% Rotten Tomatoes, they don't want to spend because movies are pretty expensive nowadays, like $10-12 if you go see it.
And here's another thing about, especially Rotten Tomatoes is guilty of this too. Because you can like read if it was a rotten review or a good review. Well, you can read some of these rotten reviews, and they were actually good reviews. They just gave them a rotten. So Rotten Tomatoes themselves or take bribes and pay from other companies.
And yeah, for sure. But I mean, when people see those numbers, like the 34%, or if they see the Wonder Woman 96%. The 96 is obviously going to make them want to go see it because Rotten Tomatoes is hugely influential, and the negative one's going to make them not. But I mean, is that a bad thing though?
See, for me, I mean, you have another part of it where you can give you read reviewers, actual like the average Joe sees this film good, and a lot of times that is going to be different from the critics' review. So you got like two, you got the bucket of popcorn, you got the tomato. Bucket of popcorn, most times
that's like the audience.
The audience review is usually a lot better, more on the line than the critics' review is.
Yeah, but I mean, when they see the critic number, kind of like the Batman v Superman thing, that was a failure because critics did not like it and they didn't make as much money as they wanted to. And that's partly probably because people saw the early reviews of critics that saw it. But is that critics' fault for expressing their opinion and putting it out there? Or is it their fault for putting out bad movies?
It's both.
Yeah. It's a really kind of hard line to do it.
I mean, there's critics out there who will give bad reviews and go back and change the reviews later.
Yeah.
I mean, Titanic. People claim that's one of the top highest great grossing and greatest films ever made.
Is what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the top charts of almost everybody's film list.
Yeah.
When it came out, it was destroyed by critics. Critics went back like 3 or 4 days later and changed all the reviews on it.
Yeah,
all changed their own reviews.
Yeah. And you can't always go by the Hive consensus for this kind of thing, but sometimes you can. A lot of times the comments and consensus, ergo Batman v Superman, is right. But sometimes they're not. Sometimes critics are not always right. Sometimes people don't understand films.
I still think Dune is terrible.
I think most people do.
Yeah.
But Andrew Small, our executive producer, just went like this over there.
Yeah.
I think he likes that movie. But I think that, it really depends.
See, it's like me. Like, I cannot stomach Silver Linings Playbook.
Okay.
I can't stomach that film. And it was like 98%.
Again, you don't have to agree with it.
See, I mean, and I look at like the audience review, and a lot of audience didn't like that film either.
Exactly. I mean, some things resonate with critics, some things don't. Obviously, Pirates of the Caribbean is more aimed for a general audience, but that doesn't mean you need to not do very well on it. We'll talk about that later. Same thing for Baywatch. Baywatch, I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, it's just kind of a 21 Jump Street kind of rip-off, it goes so raunchy where they're trying so hard. And I think that's probably where the problem lies, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. To judge it, you need to go see it yourself. But if you're debating whether or not to go see this movie with your family on the weekend kind of thing, and you look at the score and don't want to see it, that's where the problem kind of lies for these guys, because now they're not making the money. Because they put out all the crap they wanted to, and it doesn't matter the quality. People would go see it because they didn't know. They didn't really have that immediate gratification of seeing what someone thought of it. But now there's people know how our movies are, so now we can't keep putting out the stuff. Do you think that's good for studios to start making better products?
A lot of, for me, is I don't think studios should not care about the critics. They should care more about the audience when they want to. For me, I feel like the highest grade, the ones that make the most money are the ones that get the fan service to the audience.
But then we get things like Transformers that are just offensively written and bad, just bad movies. Do we want studios to keep producing that? Because when you purchase a ticket for a movie, you're saying, I want more of this.
Well, the only problem is that movie's not making any money here.
Yeah, it made a lot of money for a long time.
It's making money in China. Right now, people are writing movies for overseas film audiences.
But you know what I mean. If we keep going seeing these movies,
if you want a domestic hit, cater to the domestic audience.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. We keep getting things like the Transformers franchise, and we keep getting things like Divergent and stuff like that because people kept paying for them, and when people stopped, obviously there had to be a change. Do you think that's good that we can see that now, or do you think it would be better if you just went there and the studios just kept churning out stuff and kind of basically fooling people in order to get into the theaters?
Divergent last was a flop. Try to cater to the audience. If you know your audience, you know what people want to see, make what they want to see.
Yeah. But guys, do you have any opinions on this, especially this lapse topic? We could talk all day about it, but we have a lot more stuff on the show to get to. Please comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We'd love to hear what you guys think.
Yeah.
So guys, we're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, some underrated gems. Underrated gems
That's
in movie films.
Underbated films. That's what I got.
Understated films.
That is what you wrote. I'm not lying.
Undertated films. Undertated films when we come back. Stay with us.
Gosh,
Nash Community College offers 12 degree programs entirely online. Are you interested in information technology? Explore information technology systems, network management, systems security, healthcare informatics, or web design and administration. These 2-year programs are only a few of the online associate degrees offered through Nash Online. Students receive the same quality instruction and resources as on-campus students without ever stepping foot on Nash's campus. Learn more about Nash Online today at online.nashcc.edu.
DJ Twiz on the beat, fool.
What's up? It's DJ Twiz. Be sure to tune in with me every Tuesday at 2 p.m. on WNIA 89.1 FM to catch all your urban music, news, fashion news, and sports every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Make sure you tune in because it will be lit.
Welcome back to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac Anderson.
And I am Tyler. I'm still Tyler. I haven't changed. Not still here. Nothing's happened.
What smooth grooves that just came out of your beautiful mouth. Guys, time to talk about our weekly segment, which
Underrated gems.
Underrated gems.
Oh, it's underrated gems.
Underrated little gems.
Yeah,
because you're right, Uncultured Swine.
Wow, that is some horrible handwriting, buddy.
Well, thanks, buddy. So we're going to be talking about some very underrated films and some things you might not have heard about that are really great. But Tyler, what do you got to start us off with?
So I Married an Axe Murderer with Mike Myers. This was in 1993. It was right after his fame with the whole Wayne's World film series, and it was humorous. But for me, his portrayal of his father, to me, is what stole the show.
Oh yeah,
he's got an angry, antisocial Scottish father, And it's also played by Mike Myers.
Of course.
And the voice acting is just to me, the character could have had his own movie. It was hilarious. And it's one of those parts where
it's called Austin Powers.
No, it was called Shrek. But it was just. I mean, you can look at him talking and see the actors trying not to laugh at him.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, to me, it's one of the funniest films I've seen.
Oh, for real?
It's hilarious. I mean, Amanda Plummer gives like a good psychotic performance in it.
Yeah.
Nancy Travis is all she's about Nancy Travis, and Mike Myers, he was a beat poet, and he's the whole parody of the beat poet kind of lifestyle. That was pretty funny.
The snaps.
Yeah, he does the snaps.
See, I've never seen this. I got to see this now. But another one that I'm a really big fan of that you brought my attention back to because I totally forgot about it is a movie called Big Fish, directed by Tim Burton.
Amazing.
For those that don't know, Ewan McGregor plays a Southern man in flashbacks. Like it's another actor when he gets older, but it's an old Southern man telling stories to his son about his past, but they're very exaggerated.
Albert Finney's the adult, I think.
Oh, he is? Oh.
Albert Finney.
I forgot. It's been so long since I've seen the movie.
And this is a Tim Burton film.
It's a Tim Burton film, and it's 2001, 2002. Yeah. So around the time Ewan McGregor was pretty popular with the Star Wars prequels, he went in this movie and did this on his own time. Mm. And he's great as the young version of this character, and it's just these very, as my mama says, tall as a Georgia pine. It's just really tall tales, and you get to see giants. You get to see all this stuff.
And his as an older adult, played by Billy Crudup. His son, Billy Crudup, and he tell him all these tall tales, and he believed him for years. And
then he figures out they were all
the lies. They're all none of it's true. And then his father's sick, and he comes back to help take care of him. And then he finally spoilers.
It's a 15-year-old movie.
Spoilers, and his father finally passes, and then all these people from the stories. I mean, they were real. He all his stories were true.
He just exaggerated.
He exaggerated them so much, and it was just amazing to see all these people. He finally believed because he's like, my father was truthful this whole time. But
but it was just in his own way. And if you grew up in the South, you obviously know people like this where they just tell extremely tall tales.
I mean, the whole movie is based on the Big Fish tale. You know the big fish.
I call the huge fish like that. Yeah.
And the catfish living in the pond. Catfish living in his pool. And
yeah, exactly. But why don't you go ahead and tell us about the next one?
The next one was Along Came Polly. Like, for me, I really didn't care about Ben Stiller, and I didn't care about Jennifer Aniston. Philip Seymour Hoffman stole this entire film for me. Philip Seymour Hoffman was probably the best part. Without him, I couldn't got through this film. But it's one of those, you see a film, you see a character steal an entire film, and you just like indulged in that one character, and that was Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. And it was like a washed up child actor almost, and it was hilarious. He just still thinks he's famous, and everybody barely remembers him from his famous film, and it was Philip Seymour Hoffman. He did an amazing job. He was hilarious.
I bet so. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen this whole movie. These two don't have much chemistry.
No, they don't.
I remember that was very weak. Philip Seymour Hoffman, like when he's doing the basketball swish, that was funny.
Yeah, but he is funny this entire. And then there's his client is hilarious too. But
yeah, but I mean overall that those two don't really work.
I mean, I didn't see a lot of comedy.
And they're the main characters, which is a problem. But.
I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman, man, he steals the show like he usually does.
Of course. Even in Big Lebowski, when he doesn't really say many lines, he says maybe 4 lines in the movie. He just goes, no. The whole time. And it's great. Yeah. He's just doing that in the background. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Like, just him doing that just makes me laugh. But he was a great actor. Rest in peace. But so speaking about rest in peace, Val Kilmer's career really came up in this movie. It was called Top Secret. Top Secret is a very under the radar movie. It was made by the Zucker brothers, who made Airplane and Naked Gun, which Naked Gun is one of my favorite films of all time. This is right there on the level of Airplane, I think, and it's not credited as it. I don't understand it. Basically, it's a story about this guy right here, played by Val Kilmer. His name is Nick Rivers. He's basically kind of an Elvis Beatles type parody kind of thing. Women are going crazy over him in his funny shots, like all the women freaking out and crying over him. And he goes to, I believe it's Germany, and he's being commissioned by the CIA to go investigate this kind of thing. And some fun things happen.
Get Smart.
Not really like it's not like Get Smart. It's kind of like it's a very
Naked
original.
Gun. Oh.
It's a little bit Naked Gun-esque, but it's the gags, like the visual gags in here are fantastic. Just the quips and everything. It's very underrated. It's like Airplane if it was like a spy movie, and it's like somewhere in between Naked Gun and Airplane, and it's so good. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and try to check it out as soon as you can. But Tyler, why don't you take the next one?
All right, next one I got Dark City, and it came out in the 90s, and it kind of flew under the radar because about the same time The Matrix had come out.
Ooh, that looks very leathery.
And it's a dark noir film. It starts with kind of like a murder mystery, and it's got Rufus Sewell in it, and most of it's got an ensemble cast, and it's one of those really mind-bending like plot twist kind of films, and it had sci-fi, it had crime thriller. I mean, it's good. So it's got a what's it called when it's like messes with your head?
Inceptionitis?
Inceptionitis. It had Inceptionitis. I mean, it's a wonderful film, overshadowed by The Matrix to me. I mean, at the time, it had some of the best special effects I had ever seen for a film in its day. So, I mean, it would have been a milestone if The Matrix hadn't come out.
See, I've never even really heard of this movie. Seeing this poster, it makes it, like, I can just smell the leather sweating.
Yeah.
Like, it smells like that set got really uncomfortable, like, as far as costume-wise, real fast. And
it had a lot. You ever seen the cult Phantasm films?
Don't believe so.
It had like a lot of vein for that inside the film. Like you kind of see a lot of influence from that.
It looks very 90s. It looks like I hear
very
a lot.
90s.
Is there a lot of techno music in this movie?
No, it's a noir film.
It's a noir film? That doesn't mean they don't put techno music in it.
It's noir. It's just kind of like the dark, shadowy kind of.
Oh, I mean, it looks really interesting, but did it come out around the same time The Matrix did?
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, you talked about that earlier. And the Matrix, had its own leather for a whole generation.
And it kind of pushed it out of the way.
Yeah, unlike the leather that doesn't move.
The leather doesn't move. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I got to check that out. That's actually pretty cool. But now, here's one of my favorite films, probably of all time, and it's very underrated for what it is. And it's I'm surprised about how few people know about this. And the people that do absolutely adore it. And I think it's more for kind of hardcore film fans.
I remember it.
Yeah. See, it's not really one that like people are boasting over. It's not like the award season one.
I get Clive Owen in it. What?
Yeah, but it's called, for those that don't know, Children of Men. Children of Men is basically, it's the year, like it says right there, the year is 2027. No woman has had a child in like 20 years. No child has been born. Every woman is barren. And basically the world's kind of slowly deteriorating. It's slightly post-apocalyptic. And
there's no more hope left.
And there's no more hope. Everyone's going to die. In like 100 years, humanity's going to be gone. And Clive Owen, who plays a journalist and a former activist, comes across this woman that is with child. She's pregnant. And his job is he gets recruited by these kind of rebels and these anarchists, basically, that he doesn't really, want to be around at the current moment. He just kind of gets thrown into this. His job is to help this woman get to safety and get to this thing called the Human Project, which is going to protect this child and let it be raised up instead of being a propaganda piece. And it's fantastic. Cinematography-wise, it's one of the best movies in the last few decades, probably ever. Like, the guy that, I forgot what his name is, Emmanuel something, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but he does a lot of work with Alfonso Cuarón, and he is just the greatest. The visual imagery in this film, the ways they show characters, the direction, the score, everything in this film is just so great. The writing, it's a near perfect film, and it's extremely underrated. How in the world this doesn't get more credibility than it does? It's just a crime. Like it's one of the best movies I probably have ever seen. It really is. You seen it? You've seen this?
Yeah, like back when it came out.
And, oh yeah. Also, this is worth noting. This is known for its long takes, and there's a scene in this car that takes place over like a course of like 10 or 12 minutes, and they made like a whole car rig to do this, and it looks nearly impossible how they did this, and it's just amazing. And there's just so many really long takes, like 10, 12-minute takes.
Like Daredevil fight scenes.
Basically, not at all.
Okay.
But yeah, some of the long takes in this, like you just feel like you're there. You feel like you're in this world, and it's truly kind of like gut-wrenching and terrifying when you see it. It's a fantastic film. So why don't you take the next one?
Next one is, I remember I saw this when it came out. For me, it was a good animated film. It was Anastasia. I remember it was everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing pictures of it, the merchandise, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Oh, for real?
It's gone, just disappeared. And it was I think it was Fox Films, and I think it was right before they closed down their whole. Because after this, they did Titan AE and they shut down their whole Fox Films
I like
studio.
Titan AE. That's another kind of underrated one.
And it's about the secret story of Anastasia, surviving, and it had Meg Ryan and had it was an ensemble cast, and the one everybody that stole the show was a little bat named Bartok in it. And a lot of it was rotoscoped. It was sung. It had Angela Lansbury was in it, and a lot of these characters actually acted out, and they rotoscoped and they acted out and they traced over them.
Yeah.
So a lot of time and money went to the film, and it's a pretty good film. So it's a family film, and it's one of those children loved it at the time, and then
just disappeared.
It's
kind of like the marketing just kind of died on it. They went to Titan AE instead.
Yeah, I mean it was like. I mean, at the time, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing about it, couldn't see about it.
I remember popping in. I forgot what movie it was. It was a VHS when I was younger, and they had the making of Anastasia. This was before Anastasia, it was barely in production, and they showed them kind of like doing some of the early songs for it and some of the early animation. Like it wasn't even colored in yet. It was just like pencil drawings.
To me, it was Fox's take on a Disney film.
Yeah, I think that's what confused me too when you said Fox, Mike, because I thought that was a Disney film.
It's a Fox film. Fox does not do animated films anymore.
That's a shame.
Yeah, they haven't done animated films.
Actually, that's not a shame because I don't know how good they would be now. But
yeah,
back in the day, they were really good.
And this
Titan AE is another one. It's really
good.
This
is amazing, and it was just the voice acting was good in it. I think it had John Cusack in it. It had Kelsey Grammer. Christopher, it was not the Doc Brown. Christopher. Doc Brown was in it.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
How did we both forget that?
I think
hold on. Let's give us both a wrong buzzer.
Hank Azaria does the voice for the bat, a little Canadian accented little white Arctic bat.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good. I mean, it's heartwarming. This is all around good animated film.
Yeah, I got to check it out. It's been so long since I've seen it. Yeah. But it's the last one. I think you have another honorable mention that we won't go too much into. Yeah. But mine, for the last one of my little underrated gems. Now this is probably one that I talk about all the time. I say these phrases more than you know. It's Kung Pao Under the Fist. Kung Pao Under the Fist is one of those movies that was slammed by critics. Yeah. It's an incredibly stupid and dumb movie. For those that haven't seen it, it's basically about this guy right here. He has composited himself, the guy Steve Odenkirk, like the actor-director, has composited himself in this old kung fu film. And he has overdubbed all the languages and like does the voices for all the other characters. And he pretty much redoes the story. And he is he's known as the Chosen One. And he has a little face that comes out of his tongue. And the fight scenes in this are absolutely hilarious. Like he punches out a whole guy's whole inside of his stomach, and it comes out in one clean chunk. And the voiceover is like, how do you do that? It's like one clean chunk. I mean, like I'm no doctor. And like he just keeps
evil Betty.
Yeah, and he keeps lingering on it. Like it's like, seriously, how did he do that? Like he just keeps doing that. And the main antagonist in this movie is called Master Pain, but halfway through the movie, like not even halfway, like the beginning of the movie, he says, "I don't want to be called Master Pain anymore. Call me Betty." So the rest of the movie, like he's been called Master Betty.
No, it's Evil Betty.
Evil Master Betty.
Evil Betty.
I just little things in here, and there's great.
It's all out ridiculous movie.
It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's hilarious. It's one of the most quotable movies I've ever seen.
I think the villains were French aliens, weren't they?
Oh yeah, the very end, there's aliens that come up.
And they had a big fight scene with a cow, I think.
Oh yeah, the
cow was shooting up like it was bullets.
And it was a Matrix kind of parody. And
I think you're at some ground chuck. You got some.
I need gopher chucks.
Yeah, gopher chuck. And he's like talking to his dog.
And he like swirls these around. And just so many great quotes and like so many great moments in this movie. But I don't think people got it. Now, I mean, this is the same guy that made this movie called Bat Thumb. Bat Thumb is not very good. Bat Thumb is very stupid. Yeah. This is like really, actually almost kind of clever and like funny things that was in this movie. You go this way. I'll go home. Like little things like that. It's great.
He writes the bills and I sign them.
It's like, swing and I swing left, you swing right, we're both hanging. Remember that part?
Yeah, I remember the part where he goes. That my favorite singer was of NSYNC is Harpo.
And he said, I don't think there is. If there's not a Harpo, there should be.
Oh, Harpo.
Yeah, but that's another great one. But guys, thank you so much for watching so far.
And we got one honorable mention.
Let's go ahead. One honorable mention.
It's Real Genius with Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. This is a classic film. I haven't heard about it in years. So good. It's about a school for genius children. And a boy starts there, and they think like he's got big expectations about him. And there's a project about building a laser, and it turns out their spoilers. Their teacher is making it for the army. Mm-hmm. So they know they're building a laser, but they don't know what it's for. And then I think there's a whole part in the gag where they reprogram it and it shoots a laser down and have a giant thing of popcorn in like the headmaster's apartment. It just pops in his house and it just fills the whole thing up with popcorn. That
kind of stuff's fun. That's one I've never seen. I got to see that.
Yeah, and it's just
but guys,
classic.
Again, thank you so much for watching so far. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to add to this list, please leave a comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. So we're going to take a really quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about that new Pirates of the Caribbean film. They made another one?
Yes, they did.
I can't believe that.
And they're making another one right now as we speak.
Oh my goodness, guys, we'll be right back.
Nash Community College offers 12 degree programs entirely online? Are you interested in information technology? Explore information technology systems, network management, systems security, healthcare informatics, or web design and administration. These 2-year programs are only a few of the online associate degrees offered through Nash Online. Students receive the same quality instruction and resources as on-campus students without ever stepping foot on Nash's campus. Learn more about Nash Online today at online.nashcc.edu.
Hey guys, welcome back to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac Anderson.
I am Tyler. I have not changed. I'm still here.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
I hope everyone at home knows that this is Tyler. And
why do you always introduce yourself to? It's the same 7 people tuning back in.
No, we actually have more because there's a special thing we got at the end of the show that I think people are tuning in for.
We got 2
more.
more.
Maybe they tuned out by now. They probably got us on mute.
We got
like,
2
who's that
more?
lesbian-looking guy and his friend? But who knows?
What'd you call me?
I said my friend.
Oh, okay.
I'm the lesbian guy.
Okay,
I thought that was obvious. I thought that was implied. But right now it's time for a movie review of the week, which
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Man, let the thing go first. Let the thing go. Let's do that again. You ready?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No. Wait. You ready?
I'm ready.
Time for our movie review of the week, which is
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dude, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Our movie review of the week, which is
Pirates of the Caribbean.
There we go. That's close enough. Everybody give them a big old round of applause. Yay!
Dead men tell no tales.
All right. So, for those who don't know, Pirates of the Caribbean 5 is a movie where Johnny Depp, a.k.a. Captain Jack Sparrow, is on another adventure with young, what's his name? Harry? Something that starts with H.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh, no, it's not Orlando Bloom. It's Discount Orlando Bloom.
I know this. Will Turner.
Henry. His name is
Henry Turner.
And his female friend. Go on an adventure for
Marie Curie.
I don't know. You could tell how much I really enjoy this film. So, guys, without any further ado,
here we go.
What do you think of this movie?
I thought it was better than I expected it was going to be. Yeah, well,
sure. What were you expecting?
I was expecting like a horrible, just non-sensible action film, but I got a little more out of there. Like I thought Jeffrey Rush was amazing in it.
Yeah. Well,
Jeffrey Rush and Javier Bardem made this movie better than I thought it was going to be.
I got to disagree with you on this one. I wasn't feeling this movie very much.
Oh, trust me, dude. You were not feeling the rush in this. I got the rush out of this. I love the rush.
Well, I love the rush too. He was okay. I mean, he played the character.
He stole the whole film.
I mean, he was fine. I mean,
stole it.
Overall, this movie really fell flat for me. And I'll tell you why. Let's start off talking about this guy and this girl right here.
Yeah.
I have no problem with them as actors, but this movie, they're almost like video game characters. Like
they're
so thin, they're extremely bland. If Steam Broccoli was a character, this would be the character.
They were NPCs in this whole film.
And so this is, I don't know, is this spoilers? I don't think this is. I think this is, just put spoilers up just in case.
This is just common sense.
Well, you don't have to put that up. No spoilers. Who cares? Yeah. So this guy right here is William Turner's son. And the whole plot of this movie is this guy right here, William Turner's son. I have the hardest time remembering his name. His name's Henry. But Henry Turner is looking for Poseidon's Triton in the bottom of the ocean to try to break the curse that his father has, because he's basically the new Davy Jones.
Yeah.
And this girl right here is a scientist girl, I think. And
she's a
everybody's like, oh, you're a witch because you're smart and you're female. That's not possible.
She's a horticulturist. She's a horticulturist.
Horticulturist?
No, horticulturist.
You better watch
birds.
your mouth, mister.
No, they study birds. She's a
scientist.
Scientist.
There we go. We'll just say she's a scientist.
Astronomer. She's an astronomer.
And Captain Jack Sparrow, I think Johnny Depp
He's an alcoholic in this.
I think he's an alcoholic in real life too, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can't make assumptions on this.
Yeah.
But that's just my guess. Who knows? He's probably a good guy. Hi, Johnny. But yeah, Johnny Depp is in this. I feel this is a big problem with me with this movie. So the plot line was about this guy trying to break the curse at sea, but it quickly became Jack Sparrow the movie. Look at Jack Sparrow act drunk and do funny things, and that really took away from the movie because Johnny Depp, as great as he was in the first, Pirates of the Caribbean, the second one, whatever.
See, and there's a whole plot line for him that I felt like it was really, really, really underdone.
I don't even remember what it was about. Because it's almost like it's so overblown. It's almost like a Funny or Die skit where he's almost kind of like overdoing it so much where he's doing a parody of himself. Mm-hmm. And it got really old really fast. Man, I don't want to see Jack Sparrow anymore. I can't believe I'm saying that. Actually, I can believe I'm saying that. But it got really old. I'm like, so what? They're doing all these gags and everything. I don't care about Jack Sparrow.
They didn't have a character to bounce because it felt like three people were comic relief. It felt like you got a movie about comic relief.
He quickly became comic relief, and they tried to make this guy, who is like Nathan Drake without the interesting qualities, it felt really flat. Like it looked like video game cutscenes, but like Final Fantasy characters you didn't care about were like these two were together. It really did, and nothing against those two as actors. They're fine actors, but the material they were given was just so dry and so bland. But like you said, the part you really enjoyed was Mr. Barbossa here, Jeffrey Ross. Rush, whatever, not Jeffrey Ross. That's the roasting guy. But Jeffrey Rush, he's in this movie as Barbossa. He's okay. He does the character he's done in the last few movies. He comes back, and you learn there's an interesting revelation with them earlier. Not going to spoil anything for you. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a character arc for him, at least. And he was fine. Let's talk about this. This really upset me, and this really disappointed me. Javier Bardem. I was very excited to see him as the villain in this movie. Yeah. I was very disappointed. And I don't know if this is something that Javier Bardem decided to do on his own, or this was something that the director or the writer kind of intended. But his character is really, it seems kind of interesting. Don't want to spoil too much in here. I don't think we should go into spoilers for this. Who cares? Yeah. Nobody wants to hear spoilers for this. But the plot line with the story directly kind of involves Jack Sparrow in some way. And he has a vendetta against Jack Sparrow. And you see that in the trailers. And Javier Bardem is one of the best villain actors of all time. And I wouldn't say all time. Probably of recent time. I would say it's safe to say that. He's played Anton Chigurh, who is probably one of the most iconic villains of the last decade or two.
So ever wear a bowl cut?
Yeah. Decade or two. It's terrifying in that movie. He played that villain in Skyfall. Yeah. He's a great villain actor. This one, he kind of, it was almost like Jeremy Irons in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Because
I forgot about that thing.
Where he was overdoing it. It's kind of like, I don't know if it was the director that did this, but it felt like his character was just pushing blood through his teeth the whole time. It was good, and the and it was like he had no more depth than a cardboard cutout of himself. Like
Capitan Salazar.
Yeah, I'm like the thing that makes Javier Bardem great is like the depth he gives to these characters. There was really no depth. He just kind of like did the voice
and looked
spit
creepy.
blood through it. Yeah, and he looked creepy and put the blood through his teeth. Had the effects all over him.
I don't think it was blood. I think it was ectoplasm.
I don't think it was ectoplasm. I think it was blood.
It was black ectoplasm.
I don't know, but there's a scene where you kind of see how he got that way. Yeah. I wasn't crazy about that scene because that scene does not really make sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. And you can imagine, as we said earlier, it has something to do with Jack Sparrow. And you see this in the trailer. It's a young Jack Sparrow. I wasn't feeling that scene. It just made no sense. When you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It don't make no sense.
It was just one of those things to advance the plot.
Yeah, and it felt like it was something for ILM to kind of put in there. It's like, look at these new effects we can do. We can make Johnny Depp look like a creepy version of himself from when he was younger, and make him look like a computer.
Oh look, there's Crybaby and Gilbert Grape right there. It's Gilbert Grape right on the ship.
But it looked really weird. It looked like I didn't know how I feel about it.
It looked like
it wasn't like Tarkin in Rogue One, where it just kind of like was really distracting. It was just kind of like, whoa, something looks off. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It was very good effects, but I don't know how I feel about it over as a whole. But yeah, everyone in the theater I was in zoned out in this movie. There was a guy in front of me on Snapchat and looking on his phone the whole time. The guy in the front row was enjoying this movie. He was going, the whole time, like he loved it. Good for him. And it was like 3/4 of the way packed. And there was a guy next to me watching SportsCenter with headphones in. No, not even joking right now. I wanted to get a picture, but I didn't want to pull out my phone. But if it tells you how much a general audience zones out in this movie, maybe Rotten Tomatoes is right about this movie.
I don't know. They did say it's like the second best one in the entire film series.
That's not true.
Yeah,
that's impossible.
It is better than the Dead
I'm not
going to
search my feelings.
Man. It is better than World's End.
At World's End?
It's better. You know this is better than World's End.
I don't know. I think I like World's
End better.
Tides? Stranger Tides is probably better than Stranger Tides. I don't know. I think this is probably one of the worst ones of the franchise. I got to be honest.
But it's bad because the other franchise is not
great. It felt like, like you said earlier, we were talking about this a little earlier. You said, well, I don't think people are going for it for sit still, buddy.
No, I'm thinking around. Look at these, and I'm trying to.
But I think people are. It's like, well, people are not really going for this for good writing or good direction. They're going here for like to see the cool Jack Sparrow action scene, or to get to see this, or get to see that. And granted, there were some kind of neat little things in there. We can't crap on this movie too much, but it was like going on the cannons and everything at one part, and there was like the ship going like that's in the trailer, like in the little divide in the ocean. That kind of thing was kind of neat to see.
And the ghost ship was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the ghost ship was kind of cool, but when the characters aren't interesting, then I don't care.
It was a special effects film.
It was a special effects film, but like, why do some of those work and why do some of those fail? Like, take Star Wars. Star Wars, you could say, is a special effects film, but why do people love it so much? It's not because the space battles and explosions and stuff. Granted, some people might, but we go back because we like Han, Luke, and Leia. We like the characters.
I like Han.
Yeah, everyone loves Han. Yeah. Disney really loves Han. But we love the characters. The characters are super likable, and we want to see what happens to them. So when they get in those action sequences, we're invested in it. It's like we want to see them make it out. And then that makes it more interesting. Why does Guardians of the Galaxy work like that? Same reason, great characters.
Well, and you got films like Avatar where it's driven by the scenery and the effects.
Yeah, and the story falls flat because you don't care about any of the characters.
But but it's like you don't care about characters, you don't care about the story, but it's the visuals pull that movie together.
Yeah, but there's no real character or story to it, and that's where that's why as a movie
it's an art piece. It's more of an art piece.
Yeah, and that's why as a movie this kind of things fall apart. But overall, let's go ahead and do our score because we got a lot to get to in just a second. So, what do you give this?
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. I'm gonna go a 4 out of 10. I was really disappointed in this.
Wow.
I'm giving it a little bit of credit.
Wow,
I'm giving it a little bit of credit.
So you giving this thing a better review than you gave that Exorcist movie that came out last year.
Yeah, that was terrible. But
so this has got a worse review than that. Wow.
No. The Exorcist movie with Aaron Eckhart, that got like a 2 out of 10 for me. That was terrible. 2. Yeah, this is like my average for like kind of bad movies. It's 4 out of 10. But guys, if you have any opinions on this, if you think we're wrong on this, you think you're gonna be like Hollywood and say we're wrong about this, please comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it.
.edu?
No, that's not it. But guys, real quick, we have a little bit of a snippet of an interview that I had with actor Scott Patterson. For those that don't know, Scott Patterson is in Gilmore Girls.
Okay, good, yeah.
He was in Gilmore Girls. He was in a few other movies. He's also in a band called SMITHRADIO. And so I had an opportunity to speak to him for a little bit. I asked him what his favorite movie is. So here's a clip of that. Thank you so much. And if you don't mind, I have a little personal question I want to ask. It's we have a show here at the station called Big Bang Cinema. I host it, and we're going to air this part of this interview on it next week. So I'm a huge movie guy. I was just wondering, what is your favorite movie?
You know, it's always been the same movie. It's never changed. It's always been Clockwork Orange.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, even though it's not a perfect movie, you know, it kind of second act really drags, and the third act is a little predictable, unsatisfying. But it's the hell of a first act.
Oh yeah.
But a better novel than film, but still my favorite all-time movie character and my favorite performance of any leading character in a film.
Very nice. It's so weird, and Kubrick directed it too. It's awesome. So
great movie. Just terrific.
Wow, that was words of wisdom.
It sure was. So, guys, if you want to hear the whole interview with Scott Patterson, it was a great interview I did with him. Please listen at 89.1 tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Or if you don't live around here in North Carolina, Rocky Mount, Tarboro, please go to nashcc.edu/BBR, and you can go right to the link to go listen to that live tomorrow. But thank you, guys. Thank you, Scott Patterson, for talking with me over the phone. I really appreciated it. And SMITHRADIO has their music out right now. And so if you want to hear that, please tune in tomorrow at 89.1.
Never heard of them before.
Never heard of them before?
No.
Give them a listen.
I've never seen Gilmore Girls.
Oh, well, that makes two of us. But guys, thank you so much for watching so much. Next week, we're talking about Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman. I'm excited about Wonder Woman. I want to see that. I heard it's spectacular from the critics.
Yeah, it's 96% of Rotten Tomatoes, like we talked about earlier. We'll see if that rings true. But guys, thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. We love you guys. I'm Isaac Anderson.
And I am Tyler.
Stay lovely.